Ooh, it's Nash. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Nash here with another video. I know it's been a hot minute, but we are back and we are here to stay. Today, first video back, we are here to talk about the first episode of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 10. Cannot believe we're 10 seasons into All-Stars already, but we'll get into that. Before we do, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like the video, and tell me down below, who are you rooting for this season? I cannot tell you yet, partially because we've not met all the queens yet, so I don't know, could be terrible. Now, let me introduce my amazing, glamorous, I wouldn't say you're an assistant, but my boyfriend has decided that he wants to join me for my videos, which I'm very excited for because it means I have someone to talk to and I'm not just sat here blabbering to myself because that always feels a bit weird. But say hi, introduce yourself to the lovely people in the world of YouTube.
Hello YouTube, I'm Carly Cross and I'm here to talk about RuPaul.
Not the queens, just RuPaul apparently. Right, so All-Stars 10. Now for All-Stars 10 they've decided to do something a bit different. So I know you haven't seen any of the All-Stars. So he's only seen season 17?
Yeah.
And did you watch all of it? You didn't watch all of it, did you?
No, I watched like the last 2 episodes with you.
Yeah. Just trying to remember when we got together. And where Drag Race was at that point. I know what our anniversary is. 31st of March, right? I'm joking, it's the 30th. I remember now. It's also on my phone in case I forget. Yes, so what they've done this time is they've decided to name it the Tournament of All-Stars. So, like a tournament, we have 3 separate brackets. Each bracket has 6 queens in them. Each bracket gets three episodes to which they're supposed to try and earn the most amount of points. And the 3 queens with the most points move on to the semi-final. Now, we did find out in this first... it was the last episode. I think the 3rd episode of the bracket that apparently what's also going to happen is the eliminated queens... The regular judges will get to decide one queen that comes in as a wild card. So, like, out of the eliminated queens. So, there'll be 10 queens, essentially, in the...
Like a last chance saloon type thing.
Yeah, sure. I don't know what that is, but we'll go with that. I'm sure you know your stuff. I don't know what you're talking about. But it sounds correct, right? Sure. So, first bracket... they had the orange promo, and honestly I think out of the colours orange was my least favourite because the colour choices they had for the promos were they had one group was orange, one was pink and one was purple. Out of those 3, orange would be the one I'd be like, please don't put me in orange.
No, I don't like orange either. It's be my least favourite from the 3.
Yeah, it's not great. Would you rather have pink or purple?
Pink, I'd say.
Yeah? Why pink?
Just a prettier colour than pink, than purple.
Pink's prettier than pink.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I don't think I'd mind either of them because I quite like purple and I quite like pink. I just don't really like orange. So I would have just been pissed if that had been the one I'd been given. But some of them did alright with the promos, but meh, it's much just really.
Is it something to do with fake tan?
What, as to why they picked orange?
Yeah.
I don't know, generally. It's such a random colour to pick with pink and purple. Pink, purple and orange. And maybe we would have done pink, purple and blue.
Yeah, I think that would have been a better colour.
Or like pink, purple and red.
Yeah, red would be better than blue.
Yeah, I think that's what I would have gone for. I just don't really like orange as a colour, but I also don't really like green as a colour.
No, it doesn't. It's a bit of a yucky colour, isn't it? Green.
It's got to be a specific sort of green, so like an emerald green or like a nice forest green, something like that, the deep greens. But then every time people use green, they always use like a horrible neon green or something like that, or like a slime green. It's just like, why?
Yeah, that's what I think of green when it's slime.
Yeah, it's horrible. Or bogies.
Yeah.
Anyone still around that remembers Dick and Dom in the bungalow? Bogies! But episode starts and they do this weird thing and it really bugs me when they do this on seasons. So usually for a normal season, and I'll explain this because you don't know, because you've not seen a normal season happen yet. Like from the start, you've kind of jumped in the last 2 episodes. So a normal season, what will happen is the queens will enter the workroom one by one. They'll do an entrance line, and then they'll be able to comment on the next queens coming in. Now, what they did this time for All Stars 10 is the queens one by one came out and walked the runway. Because that's what happened, we didn't get that interaction between, from the queens when the other queens walked in. So it's not like oh my god, I can't believe she's here sort of thing, or like, oh god, she's here sort of thing to the other queens, which I feel like always adds a little bit extra to it, because you're like, oh god, that's going to be interesting. Well, I'll say snarky lines, it's always a bit funny.
Missing some of the bitchiness.
Yeah! A little bit of the bitchiness, you know, they're drag queens. you kind of need a bit of that, and it just adds a bit to it. And, you know, as much as they're talking about themselves when they go, you could have just spread that throughout the episode.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it still, like, don't get me wrong, it was nice to have the kind of, like, introduction to all of them, kind of, like that, but I feel like you miss that interaction between them, especially on an all-star season, because with an all-star season, usually some of the queens will know each other, or like they'll be like, oh, I've heard such and such about them, so it's kind of like it's more entertaining than a normal season when they do it.
So somebody who's a noob like me, would they be on the same seasons in the All Stars, or would they be all from different series in their brackets?
Good question. So, depending on the queens, some of them will be from same seasons. Some of them won't be. So in this instance, who did we have? So we've got Bosco, we've got Irene the Alien, we've got Phoenix, we've got. Okay, I'm 3 and I'm already struggling. Oh, Aja. Deja, Skye, and Olivia Lux. Now, Bosco and Deja Skye were from the same season. They were both season 14. But apart from that, I think everyone else was from a different season. But we do also have some crossover as well. So Bosco and Irene are drag sisters. So they started drag at the same time. They came up together. And then you've got Aja and Olivia Lux are from the same ballroom house as well. So we get some stories that aren't Drag Race specific, which is also quite nice. But then you also get the sort of like, although I did find Bosco and Deja didn't really interact that much, so you wouldn't really remember that they're from the same season.
Yeah, I found that. They didn't really talk too much, did they?
No, it was more kind of like, Bosco, Irene, and then Deja, Olivia, and Aja kind of as a thing.
All in their little groups.
In their little cliques.
Yeah.
So we get our little introduction to everyone. It's all yay, whoop-de-doo. Miss the workroom drama at the start when they start entering, and the kind of like witty entrance lines that they come up with. I say witty, some of them are just crap. But some of them are good.
Some better than others.
Yeah, same with everything, really. Some better than others. And we get our first maxi challenge, which is the queens have to write and record verses to the metal song Winner Winner Chicken Dinner. Now, babe.
So, as not many people know me on this channel, I'm actually a heavy metal musician. So this is probably a good episode for me to step in on.
I will have a caveat that say it wasn't a good episode to watch with him. I love you, babe. I love you so much. But, yes, so I will say I've gotten into a bit of metal music. Apparently there was some metal music I listened to already, like Who Knew Evanescence Counted and Linkin Park. Yeah, but I didn't. But, you know, listening to some more, and then when we listened to the actual song in the challenge, I mean, my first thought when they said it's going to be a heavy metal song, I sat there and went, it's not, is it? And then they did the song and I was like, it's a bit light on the metal side.
I'd say it was more like glam metal back in like the 80s, like hair metal and stuff, I'd say.
Any artists that you could kind of like reference for that sort of thing?
I can't think of any to the top of my head, but it was just like the whole glam metal from the 80s.
What's David Bowie?
I'd say it's rock. I wouldn't.
Okay.
It's definitely not considered heavy metal or glam metal. I'd say David Bowie is like pop rock.
Okay. What's the difference between rock and metal for the viewers that don't know, and me because I'm thick?
So it's a fine line. I'd guess with heavy metal you use more distortion and like heavier, faster riffs, where rock is more like uniform, like verse, chorus, where heavy metal is more like progressive.
When you say progressive, do you mean like just the song just keeps changing as it goes?
Yeah, it can keep changing. Like you won't hear the same riff more than once.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that because a lot of songs kind of tend to repeat bits during them.
In heavy metal, you tend to hear the singers scream more so in rock, where in rock music they tend to sing it.
Yeah, it's my least favourite part about the metal, isn't it?
It suits music when it's done properly.
Yeah, it's still not my biggest fan, but my first thought with this was, is it actually going to be metal? And I feel like it was light metal. Like, I feel like they were kind of like, we don't really want to commit to it because we don't want to alienate probably our audience. But at the same time, for me, I was kind of like, if you're going to do a metal song, you should do a metal song. Like, go hard or go home. Like, either fully commit to it or don't bother.
Yeah, what I found as well is like some of the queens taking part, I don't think metal was their genre to choose from, so they were getting influences from rap and hip hop.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like part of the problem is a lot of the queens that go on Drag Race, they're going to be more rap, they're going to be more pop, even musical theatre sort of thing. Like my instant go-to would be Olivia Lux, Deja, Skye. Like, I didn't necessarily I think Deja got a bit closer to that. As much as she did rap, she did kind of scream at one point. I think maybe Bosco, Irene and Aja were maybe the closest.
I think even Bosco said in one of the interviews she did that she said that she was probably the most fitted for this maxi challenge.
Yeah. Did you agree? Who was your favourite out of the very slim pickings that you have of who was good in this episode?
I would say Bosco was my favourite in this episode.
Interesting. I would agree. I think Bosco and Irene for me were probably my favourite, and I think they were probably the closest to metal.
Yeah.
Which is interesting considering Bosco didn't make top 2. So the top 2 of this episode were Aja and Irene. Great comeback for Irene. So Irene was a first out on her season. Like, she got to show more or less nothing. And then to come back and instantly win the first challenge, was amazing. I think she did a great job. I think she deserved it. Equally, I do think I would have put Bosco as the second top, though. I don't think I would have put Aja.
I didn't really click to Aja, if I'm honest, in this episode. I thought she was rather loud. And yeah, it's just put me off for a little bit.
I get that. Yeah, she's definitely outspoken, I'd say, is Aja. She talks a lot, and some people that gels with, some people that it doesn't. But what are you gonna do? I would say Bosco and Irene were my top 2, which is kind of funny considering how the rest of this bracket goes. Irene and Aja lip sync. I know you love a lip sync, babe. Hates lip syncs. What did you think of this lip sync?
Well, this is just going to be picking hairs, but when they were miming the instruments, they had no idea what they were doing, and that took the immersion away from me. But that's just me being the guitarist anyway. But I feel like they put 100% effort into it, and I liked some more than others. As I say, Aja the Alien and Irene the Alien, sorry, and Bosco, I thought did a really good job.
But what about the lip sync between Irene and Aja? Not the challenge. At the end of the episode where they're the top 2 and they have to lip sync against each other.
The song choice, I think, let them both down. I can't remember what the song was, but it was...
Do you remember who did it?
It was one of the judges involved, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the guest judge. Was it Ice Spice?
I believe so.
I was not a fan.
No.
I can't say that's... I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I'll listen to some rap music, but that just wasn't it for me.
It didn't rhyme, which I think in rap music's quite important.
I just didn't like it, personally. But, I mean, everyone's got their own style of music. I just wish I didn't have to listen to it on Drag Race.
Let's see what the comment section say. If you like the song, please comment.
Yeah, comment. Did you like it? Who do you think won the lip sync? I'm not sure. Who did you think won the lip sync? Aja or Irene? I think it could have gone either way.
Was this the one where she did a reveal Is that what won her? I think Bosco did. No, was it? No.
No, you're thinking of a different episode.
I'm thinking of a different episode.
No, you're thinking of episode 2.
Yeah, which we'll get to.
In the next video. Yeah, I think the lip sync could have gone either way, personally.
I couldn't call it, which I'm glad I didn't have to.
Me too, because it was a shit song. It's difficult though, because when you don't like the song, I feel like it's hard to tell who's doing well or not, because you're like, well, I don't like the song, and I can't really tell if you're doing a good job because it's kind of a crap song.
Yeah, it's tricky when you don't like the song.
It's very hit and miss with Drag Race. Like, sometimes the song you'd be like, this is amazing, and sometimes you'd be like, oh, what the fuck is that? And sometimes you get a song that you've never heard of, but you're like, this is amazing, I'm going to add it to my playlist. There are so many songs I've added to my Spotify just from listening to lip syncs on Drag Race.
Just a random question, what is your favourite song you've seen on a lip sync?
Oh shit. Do you know how many seasons I've watched?
Putting her on the spot.
I generally don't know.
It's okay, we can come back to that.
Oh, do you know what? One of my favourite lip syncs though, it's still to this day, so All Stars 2, bearing in mind we're on All Stars 10 now, Shut Up and Drive was the song, I believe it's by Rihanna. Tatiana and Alyssa Edwards lip syncing to that song because they gave it everything, like literally, like they were fighting.
And that's what makes it good, when you put 100% effort into it.
100%, and that's the thing, like I think you can really tell sometimes some of the best lip syncs are like both queens are going for it and really putting their all. I would say that's probably my favourite lip sync.
What I like to see in a lip sync is when they competing with one another, because then it spurs each of them on to do a better job.
So like when they kind of like have a bit of interaction or kind of like a fuck you sort of thing, and they're kind of like, I'm going to do better than you, bitch. No, I appreciate that. No, yeah, I think lip syncings can be really good. The thing is as well, one thing that really comes into it with the lip syncs are if it's your type of music. If you get, because you can get a queen who's a great lip syncer, but give her a song that's not her forte, and she could be the shittest lip syncer there is, and it's just because that's not their song, that's not their music, you know.
It's gonna be hard to adapt to something if you don't like doing it.
Well, also if you're just not used to that sort of music, best example I have, so Latrice Royale, which is a drag queen that was on season 4 of Drag Race, she did a lip sync to You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman by Aretha Franklin. Fantastic job, really sold it, amazing. I can't remember what the song is, but she had to do a lip sync to a country song, and yeah, she just couldn't get it.
Yeah,
because it wasn't her sort of music, you know, so, and that's the thing, it doesn't show that she's a bad lip syncer, it's just that's not her style of music. Absolutely fine, everyone has a style, you know. Same with like a musical theatre kid probably wouldn't be able to do, I don't know, rap, maybe?
No, I can see that, yeah. Horses for courses.
Horses for courses?
Yeah, it means you're good at something and then maybe not good at something else.
So you need to take a course?
a race course.
A race course. But yeah, so overall, out of this bracket so far, who are you rooting for? Bearing in mind, we've only seen the first episode at this point.
So from the first episode, I think my favourite was Bosco, but as I say, that could change. Irene the Alien. Irene the Alien was interesting.
Irene.
Was an interesting character.
Yeah? Yeah. But Bosco's your favourite from this bracket so far?
At the moment, yeah.
See, my thing with Bosco is, I love Bosco. And this season I love her so much more than I loved her on her original season. I think she's so much more personable this time round. But also, bitch looks good. Like, the thing is, like, lots of people on the internet are like really being like, oh, I want to get with Bosco. I don't want to get with Bosco. I want to look like Bosco. Like, bitch, could you imagine? Like, that hair is just gorgeous.
Well, I have to say, if you look like Bosco, yeah, I'd be a bit disappointed because you look amazing.
You have to say that you're my boyfriend. But yeah, I think for me, Bosco so far from episode 1 was my favourite. I think both in the confessionals, in the challenge, I think Irene was a close second. In the challenge, I'm not so sure about in the confessionals. I don't think she got a lot of confessionals. I think she got a couple. But I think Bosco is kind of like the confessional queen so far from the first bracket. But yeah, so Aja wins. Aja won the lip sync, didn't she?
Yeah,
Aja won the lip sync. I couldn't have called it. Could have gone either way. So Aja gets an extra point. So Aja got 3 points. Irene got 2. Everyone else is on 0. Boo-hoo. Should have done better. But then the queens next episode have to give away 4 points. Those that weren't in the top have a point each that they need to give away to their MVQ, so their most valuable queen.
Wonder if any alliances will be made.
I don't know, there's been talk of it in the episode already. So you've got Aja and Olivia with their Mimu, which stands for Miyaku Mugler, which is their ballroom house. Deja's kind of like getting in on that with their Melanation Station. Melanation Station?
Believe so.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. I feel like Phoenix has been ostracized. She's by herself a lot.
I think part of the problem with Phoenix as well is she has no connection to anyone else. Like, everyone else has some connection somewhere, and then you've got Phoenix, who is from the earliest season 3. None of her season 3 sisters are on here. She's not got any connections with any of the other queens, like in that sense. And I think that instantly makes it a bit harder for her to get into an alliance, I think.
It's a bit of an age gap as well, I feel. She's the oldest by a large amount, I feel, in bracket 1.
Yeah, because I don't want to say she's in her 40s. She's going to kill me. Well, she's not going to watch this. She's not going to watch this, but if she did, I don't mean to offend. I feel like she said she was in her 40s.
I think 40s was being kind.
Oh, shade! Oh, damn, I don't have a fan to thwack. Damn. How old would you have said?
I'd said 50s, but now
50s?
maybe I'm the one who's wrong.
Whew. If I had pearls, I'd clutch them, but I don't want to clutch my earrings. Yeah, I think Bosco's my favourite so far from this episode. We'll see how it goes, see how the queens vote with their MVQ points. Who would you give your MVQ point to from this episode?
As I say, I think I felt a bit sorry for her, so my point would go to Phoenix.
Okay. I probably would have given it to Bosco.
Bosco?
Just because I think she should have been in the top 2, so I
Yeah.
probably would have given it to her for that.
Well, it was Bosco Phoenix. Yeah.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Fosco!
Yeah.
Fosco?
Fosco,
I like Fosco.
yeah.
Phoenix. Fosco or Phoenix?
Fosco.
Fosco sounds better. It sounds like it should be a beer though.
Yeah, I get that, yeah.
Fosco's.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fosco's.
A pint of Bosco's.
Pint of Fosco's.
Fosco's.
There you go. Well, that is it for this episode. The queens get to play off and dance around the stage as they all do whatever the flip they want because it's the end of the episode and they don't have to be judged until next week. But that is all from us this week. We've finished talking about episode 1. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, tell me down below who are you rooting for from this season of All Stars, and yeah, I think that's it.
Well, thank you for watching.
Thank you for having me. Bye. Ghost Horse, why is there a party? Nay.